sometimes when I sit with my friends, I tell them what I've done in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and what I'm doing now. I feel so proud. So, you know, sometimes you can sit down and think about it. When you think about your past, and say, yeah, at least I've done something nice. Making my family so proud.
There is no restriction nowadays. You can wear guards in the army. You can, up to a point, we've had this debate today as well, at the start as well. I mean, but on the whole, the message I've got that you can wear your dastard the 99% of the time. Where in maybe certain situations you can debate, but ultimately you're free to practice your faith and your martial tradition within your lifestyle also. So it's a very, very disciplined option that is being given to us by this country.
As in my experience, I will say this is probably the best career or the best job you can do. Being Sikh in the army is, again, you know, I'm going to allude to what I said earlier, that obviously the history we had before in the past, and we are proud of it, and we are trying to continue that history, and we're trying to continue the next coming generation to actually to have so they can feel proud, or we can have actually a safer world, or the safer community, or they can actually say it next time, right? Yeah, again, I'm really proud to be a Sikh.
I think the military way of life is a wonderful way of life, a disciplined way of life. I meet people in all walks of life who tell me, oh, I'm ex-army, I'm ex-navy, ex-RAF, and you can often tell the people who've been in the military, even 10, 20 years down the line, even when they're in business, when they're working, you can often tell because the way they work, there's a certain discipline in their work, there's a discipline in their lives, and I think anybody that joins the forces will have a wonderful time. There is a great spirit, a camaraderie, which you will get in the forces, and of course you will also get a lot of very, very practical training which will stand you in good stead for the rest of your life.
The benefits of being a Sikh in the British Army are such that the British Army and the Sikh kind of ethos go hand in hand. We fit like a hand in a glove.
Being a woman, being a Sikh as well, women and men are equal, and I felt I wanted to do something to show that. So that's why joining the army, something that is quite male dominated, I was showing how women and men can be equal. And also being an officer as well, I was trying to show it doesn't matter what race you are, what gender you are. If you work hard and you do the right job in the right way, you can get where you want, and that's what I'm just trying to show people.
Even though there was a lot of Sikhs in the First and Second World Wars, I think that may have tailed off. However, now the kind of it's growing now, the amount that have joined the British Army, mainly because of the British Army being a diverse organisation that makes itself fit into other religions.
The army, the way that they have changed since World War I and World War II towards Sikhs is they are making more of an effort to make the rest of the military know, non-Sikh people know what Sikhs are about, what they do. It's just to try and eradicate ignorance, and some of it is purely innocent and the rest of the military probably don't know bits and bobs, but the more we make aware of what Sikhs do and what we are about, it will just make everything easier and things just gel together a lot more better.
One of the main key themes were to educate chain of command across services that who we are, what our beliefs and what our needs, they need to fulfill our needs, and that's the reason that the most senior people, Adjutant General, was there to address all the issues, and he has gone obviously back with all these issues on the board, and it's his prime duty now to work on these so that our people who are serving on the ground, we can fulfill their needs and they can live a happy life as well.
I think we heard today the military has changed enormously in the last 10 years. You only have to look at some of the facts without even having to put any gloss on them. 10 years ago, certain practices in the military were prevalent. Now they've been banned by law. So the military has to take into account certain minorities. I think the military are much more understanding of the needs, of the requirements of religious minorities, of ethnic minorities. Years ago, perhaps commanding officers wouldn't have been so understanding with regards to taking time off for prayer, with regards to religious observances, and so on.
In the past, there was like they people didn't know about Sikh religion, about Sikh values, Sikh needs. These days, most people they knows about Sikh needs, what they require. But when we deploy an exercise or in Afghan, we get the Sikh ration packs, which is no meat, nothing, it's just all vegetable. Yeah, it's like no racism as well in the army. Normally, like when you walk in with turban on, and people don't make any jokes, anything. They respect you. Like my brother, he wears turban in the army, and he gets more respect than me because he's got turban on. When I look at the history, it makes me feel so proud. All of my majors, my captains, they'll say, "Oh yeah, the Sikhs are always warriors," because they know the history. They know what our parents, so our grandfathers, what they've done. So they know that, and that makes us feel proud to say, when they see this name badge, they think, "Oh, you're the warriors."
There was a documentary on BBC One 2 days ago. When I saw the documentary, I was a little bit emotional because the job they did, they sacrificed their lives to make us feel proud, right? And I will say that was brilliant. And I'm just carrying on that sort of tradition, right? Making my contribution so anyone else, like, or anyone who loved me for coming years, right, they can say, right, I've done a great job, or they can feel proud of me. Like, from a personal experience, I was obviously, me and Simran, we were the first Sikh to guard the Queen last year. So when I had that privilege to actually guard Her Majesty the Queen, I spoke to my dad, and the word he said to me, "Son, you made my life." So I can actually feel that proud. I can see that proud, or on their face, or the way he spoke to me. And then at the day I thought, actually, I've done something which my parents can proud on me, and that's what I'm doing.
It should come as no surprise that men and women from the Sikh community have long made a valued and important contribution to the UK's armed forces and continue to do so. Sikh communities share the armed forces' core values of honour, loyalty and integrity, and both maintain a strong tradition and celebrate a proud history as a warrior race.
Do people in Britain know what the Sikhs contributed to Britain's at war? First contact by the British with the Sikhs was when the Punjab was a Sikh-ruled state. And subsequently, and notwithstanding a coming together of Sikhs and British in the context of the government of India, which endured right up to independence. And what a contribution was made in that time. In 1862, Sikh military units made up 20% of the Indian Army. By 1918, 827,000 Sikhs had enlisted in the British Indian Army for service during the First World War. Their reputation in the Mesopotamian campaign was unrivaled, particularly by the troops they faced. And in the Second World War, over 300,000 Sikhs volunteered for service in the British Indian Army. And in those two wars, over 83,000 Sikh soldiers were killed and 135,000 wounded. And there are, of course, still in India today, and indeed in this country, those who bear the scars and wounds that they had then. So it is an astonishing contribution, and one which all those of an earlier generation of Britons who served in the Indian Army knew very well. And for the Sikhs, with this martial tradition, born in itself of the teachings of Sikhism, pride at being Sikhs, the independence, the lack of caste, that process which makes the Sikhs so individual within the Indian subcontinent, that is a story shared with the British, which goes back a very long way. And as a result of it, I think it's that, more than anything else, in my experience, which seems to have made your place in this country so secure, and indeed the future for your community so bright. Thank you for what you've done, but thank you for what your fathers, grandfathers and great-grandfathers did for our country. It was Churchill who said this: "British people are highly indebted and obliged to Sikhs for a long time. I know that within this century we needed their help twice, and they did help us very well. As a result of their timely help, we are today able to live with honour, dignity and independence." Thank you very much.
A young Sikh boy or girl who's thinking of joining the army or the military and who's quite indecisive, I would say definitely give it a go. It is a good thing to do, and it's good to contribute with everything, and the fact that you are a Sikh boy or girl, don't make that hinder your choice or hinder your decision in joining, because it does not make a difference.
I would say to a young Sikh who's thinking about joining the British Army, come and have a go, it's fantastic. And if you're unsure about it, speak to many of your Sikh brothers who will vouch for being in the British Army, what it's like and how we can accommodate.
I would seriously consider joining the army myself, you know, and I've got children of my own. If they ever came to Dad, I want to join the army, why not? You know, why not keep your discipline, keep a code of conduct, join the British Army, join the army, fight for what is right. It's a prestigious job. It is a prestigious job, and the danger at the end of the day is how to yourself you could tomorrow. There's more people who die on the streets of Britain than they do in the army. You know, whether drunk driving or everyday life or knife crime and so forth. There's more danger probably driving a car than there is joining the army. Yes, it's a more of a instant impact danger than it is to driving a car where you feel more safe and secure. But ultimately, you know, there's always the element of risk in whatever you do in life, wherever you go. That when we come to this earth also, when Maharaj sends us to this planet, we write a date of return before entering this theatre of the world.